Welcome back to the deep dive. Really excited for today's topic. We're digging into command line interface clients for LLMs, specifically the new Gemini CLI. And I have to say, my first run with it was, well, let's call it illuminatingly mixed. We should definitely unpack that.
Yeah, it's interesting. CLIs for these big models are really taking off. They give you this direct line.
Yeah.
Lots of power, bypassing the usual GIs. But like you found, they can bring their own headaches, API issues, user experience stuff. So today, yeah, let's get into what that actually feels like for someone using these tools, what it means for you.
Oh, mixed is maybe putting it mildly. Right from the start, the terminal, it had this weird flicker. Every time I typed a letter, it just sort of seized up for a split second. Not exactly confidence building.
Visually glitches, okay?
But then the real issue, my very first prompt, using the basic Gemini 2.5 Flash model, bam, resource exhausted API error and HTTP 429
Right.
immediately. And I thought, okay, what did I do wrong? But the message was clear. Resource has been exhausted. Check quota. When you show it on fancy AI and it tells you to check your quota on the first try, it's a bit of a head scratcher. I knew my quota was fine.
That is baffling. So did you manage to try anything else, or was it just stuck? What does that suggest? That maybe something about the model availability or how the CLI talks to the API by default?
Pretty much stuck. It wasn't just a one-time glitch either. I specifically tried a different model variant, Gemini 2.5 Flash Preview 0520. Restarted the whole thing. Nope. Same 429 errors just kept coming back, like constantly through the whole test.
Wow.
But here's the kicker. I used that exact same model, the preview one, with Aider, the AI coding helper.
Yeah, it is pretty solid.
Worked perfectly. Flawless. No errors at all. So it really, really feels like it's something specific to the Gemini CLI itself. Not the model, not my quota.
And that right there is the core point, isn't it? It hammers home that the tool isn't just the amazing LLM in the background. It's the whole system, the software connecting you to it. That's what shapes the actual usability. A powerful model doesn't mean much if the client keeps falling over trying to reach it.
Exactly. Spot on. But despite all that frustration, there's something interesting. The cumulative stats feature.
Oh, yeah. What did that show?
Even after just those 2 failed attempts, it gave this really detailed breakdown. Let's see, 8,640 input tokens, 65 output tokens, and get this, 308 thoughts tokens.
Thoughts tokens, so like internal processing.
Yeah, supposedly represents the model's internal work before it gives you the answer, all adding up to 9,013 tokens used for just those 2 turns.
Okay, that's useful data.
But here's the really telling part. The wall clock duration, 10 minutes and 48 seconds.
10 minutes for 2 API calls.
Yeah, even though the actual reported API duration was only 22.2 seconds total.
Whoa, that difference.
That massive gap says a lot, doesn't it, about real-world productivity, waiting times, maybe hitting costs or inefficiencies somewhere in the stack. So, yeah, wrapping up this deep dive, what do we tell people? The Gemini CLI, for us right now, showed some pretty big hurdles. That resource-exhausted error was a showstopper. And it's super puzzling when the same model worked perfectly fine through Aider.
Right.
But that said, the cumulative stats feature, surprisingly insightful, gave a clear picture of token use and, maybe more importantly, that huge difference in actual time spent versus API time.
I think the big takeaway here is really a lesson in complexity. Bringing these incredibly powerful models to us, the users, through different interfaces, it's tricky. It's not just about having smart AI. You absolutely need solid API handling, a good user experience. That's crucial if these tools are going to be widely adopted and actually useful day to day. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? What do these early bumps in the road mean for how LLM tools will evolve? Will the focus shift more towards making the integration seamless, making error handling robust? Or are we, as users, going to have to keep navigating these kinds of technical frustrations to get to the AI power underneath? Something to think about.